Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everybody had a great week, and I hope you're having an even better weekend. And I hope you're also enjoying this nice fall weather that we're having. I know I most certainly am. I got outside earlier today, did a little yard work, and I'm feeling good about that. So I hope you're feeling good too. And I don't want to keep you for too long, so we're going to get straight to today's show. All right, so the title of today's show is Give Them Something to Talk About. And the topic is reviews and constructive criticism. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a Bunny Raitt fan for life. And she said it best in so many words. But don't you hate it when people gossip and never have one good thing to say about whoever they're treading dirt over? Well, you know, we read social media posts about our fave celebrities and wonder why people say such awful things when they don't know them personally. Well, in the writing world, that's the entire idea: to become and stay relevant, to make your work buzzworthy, liked, and shared by millions. Isn't that the point? We want them to talk and share. Our work should become the focus, and, if we're lucky, start discussions with engaging dialogue that makes the conversation worthwhile. And hopefully, any conversation dealing with your work will be noteworthy and unforgettable in the best way. As an author, you may or may not like everything readers say about your work, but reviews and constructive criticism come with the territory. That's just the way it is. And even if the reader has never written anything short of a review, but proceeds to name in detail everything they liked or hated about your story, you may ask, what qualifies readers to remark about how and what you write when they aren't writers? Well, we're going to break that down a little bit, okay? Because believe you and me, it matters. Remember those school days when the teacher pointed out that, you could have gotten an A if you'd only done X, Y, or Z. Pointing that out, it's one of those teachable moments. And it's why constructive criticism is so important, and why we want readers to give their opinions. The sole purpose of writing is to share what you've written, not to keep it to yourself, and not to think that only your opinion matters, because, I just hate to say it, but I have to say it, that's a lost cause. It really is. So that's something to think about. And, any positive critique, it wasn't designed to point out weaknesses, but it was meant to enable you to do better. In a way, what it's meant to do is to point to your strengths, by pointing out those weaknesses. Because, if you don't know where you need help, then you can never improve. So we all want to improve. There's always room for improvement, because if you think you got it all down pat, well, I'm here to tell you, leave it to a reviewer to let you know, oh, wait a minute, you're not all that. Your writing is not all that, because, you could have done this, that, this, and the other, and, trust what they're telling you, trust what they say, because they're not just saying it to be malicious. They're telling you what they liked and what they didn't like, And chances are, if they liked it or if they didn't like it, others will, probably judge by what they said as to whether or not they read your work or not. All right, so that's something to think about. So, like I said, whether or not readers have writing credentials or credits, they still know what they like and dislike about every story, including yours. All right, so you just go ahead and get that straight from the get-go. I could say, not to take it personally, but it is because, we're sensitive about what we do as writers. I think Erykah Badu said that best. She said, I'm sensitive about mine. And if you are an Erykah Badu fan, then you know what she said about that. I won't repeat those words. But, I do believe in giving credit wherever it's due. And, readers, they may not understand all the writing lingo or what a story arc is, but they know a story that is the bomb versus one that's a bomber. Okay? And on the flip side, the readers have every right to express whatever comments they make about your book. And we should welcome that, because the success of those books relies on those reviews. You need to remember that, okay? So, the next time you go out there, if you happen to be one of those fortunate authors that have a book or several books out there, and you check to see, how many reviews you had and how many of them are good and how many of them are bad, how many stars they have, then you should be counting your lucky stars. If you have 4 and 5 star reviews, even if you have 3 stars, or if you have, just a few reviews, but be thankful for what you do have, because you could have 0. So that's just the way I look at it. I always tend to look at the bright side of everything, because I love that positive energy. That's what I allow into my space, only positive things, because the world is filled with negativity already. Why add to that? All right. And just remember too that, when it comes to those reviews, it's not an either or situation. We can't have it both ways. You can't write a book and then expect readers to give reviews and only expect them to be good reviews. You got to take the good with the bad, because that's just how life is. We take the good with the bad. We have good days, we have bad days. And sometimes we have more bad days than we have good days. But the thing of it is, we keep on moving. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep it moving regardless. And keep in mind that not all readers are nefarious or, live to point out the shortcomings that make you feel incompetent or less than a writer, quote unquote. But it's a team effort. And their job is to shine a light on your work that will hopefully direct other readers your way. So that's what you want them to do. That's the whole purpose of wanting readers to comment on your work, to write those reviews about your work, to keep that conversation going, whether it's good or bad, because trust me, even the bad reviews get noticed. They don't always have to be perfect to get to gain notoriety. Those bad reviews also get noticed. Okay, so who are you writing for anyway? Yourself or the reader? The correct answer should be obvious. Otherwise, you're running a one-person show, and you know what that means. If you run in the show from start to finish, and that means you're going to be writing your own reviews too. And we just need not even think along those terms, because we want to put our work out there. We want the readers to read, and not only read, but to give reviews. And even if they don't give a written review, those stars count too, that I mentioned earlier. Those stars count a lot. Whether you're getting 3, 4, 5 stars, that lets the next person that's coming behind them, who's already read that book, to let them know, oh, this is a good book. Because I gave it 4, I gave it 5 stars, so it's worth your time. So you need to check it out. Maybe I didn't take the time to write a review, maybe because I don't know how to write a review, or maybe I can't compose the right words, to pay it justice. But what I can do is give it stars to let you know, this is the equivalent of writing a great review. So all those things are important. They all factor in and that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, so we can reap the rewards of working hard and being diligent in whatever it is that we're doing. And as an author, you must not only write but view the story as if you are on the outside looking in. And what I mean by that is that we're not writing a story to please us, although we want it to be pleasing, although we want to feel good about what we're putting out there. But the stories that we write is for the readers, because we want them to enjoy this story. We want them to read it and to tell others about it, but we also want them to get the total understanding of what the story is about. So the best way to do that is write the story as if you are the one that's reading it. Okay. And sometimes it's a good thing that once you finished maybe writing a chapter, maybe 2 chapters or whatever, to not only read it back to yourself, but to listen to it being read, because that helps out tremendously. It helps to point out flaws. It helps to point out, any type of discrepancy or any kind of punctuation errors or misspelled words or whatever. It's a good thing to do that, and it may add a little bit of time, to your writing, to your daily writing, but also it will help you along the way, because that's one less thing you need to do on the on the back end of it, if you can get it done on the front end, just to listen to what you're writing, or what you've written for that day. Just sit back and and just listen to it, and let the story tell you what's going on. You wrote it, but let the story tell you what's happening. Okay. And also as a writer, I'm positive that you've read many books, so you should understand the part reader and reviewers play in that story, or any story. Okay. So the goal is to give them something to talk about. Hopefully, whatever they say will lean more toward what you're aiming for in the end game. All right, folks. So that's it for today. But before I let you go, I want to make sure I give you these URLs, because that's important too. And it's almost as important as written reviews or stars. All right. So, of course, the first one is to Spreaker, and that is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. I hope I didn't say that too fast for you to jot all that down. At any rate, you can just Google me, Google the show, and you'll be able to find it. All right. I'm just giving you a shortcut. Also, you can follow me across all social media, which includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you frequent TikTok, okay. Anyway, you can check out my website. That is at authorvivianmore.com, authorehshepard.com, and also my blog, which is updated weekly. That is at https://Vivianemore.blogspot.com. Okay, so those are all the places where you can interact with me on social media or through my website or whatever. And also, I want to give you a few places where you can listen to Book Chat. You can either listen to it live on Saturdays through Spreaker, or you can listen to the recorded episodes, every recorded episode, through Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JioSaven, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal, Luminary, and Amazon. Wow, that's a lot of places. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because you can listen to it wherever podcast or broadcast. Okay. Ooh, just hit my headphones. Hope you didn't hear that, but I sure felt it in my ear. Wow. Okay, so tomorrow is Worship Day, and I hope you're excited about it as much as I am. I always get excited about that. And again, I climb on my soapbox every Saturday, but there's meaning behind it. There's love behind it, because, I know the world that we live in is not always a kind place. And, and sometimes we need to pick me up. we need something that will cleanse us from the inside out, and and lift our spirits in a positive way. So, and that reflection comes from being able to worship. I'm a major believer in that. The worship is important. Whether you feel that way or not, that's how it is in my life. And so I would be remiss if I did not mention that, each and every week, because it is a big part of my life. So I just want to share it and hope that you are sharing the information that I give to you, and, and just spread it around, because it's important. It's almost as important as book reviews. It's equally, if not more so, important. And also telling those around you how you feel about them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you, and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.